On a Sunday winter's day, what would you do if you owned something like an R1 or a ZX, or maybe a Fireblade or some other form of super bike? Well, you probably won't go out and ride it because it's too cold and miserable. You may even sit in your garage and polish it. Not these lads, oh no. These do own super bikes, and look what they do on a winter Sunday day. They get their off-road gear on and play on these things: Enduro, trail, trials, motocross bikes, in fact anything, because this is a hare and hounds Enduro. It doesn't matter what type or age of bike you wish to use, nor does it matter what ability you have to ride one, because there is a class for everyone. The officials who are voluntary, thanks lads, check the machines over, for your safety of course, and away you go to the start. These are in various groups, with the good lads first, Mr Average next, and I'll go at my pace thanks, at the back. The event will last a few hours, or until you collapse, and it's the man who has completed the most laps wins. There are regular Enduro lads in these events, and some road bike riders as well, as this man John Mercer explains. John, now I've explained to our viewers that you're a road bike rider. In fact, you have a nice shiny sports bike, you have all the poser gear and everything.
Yes.
Look at you, you're a disgrace.
I know, it's fun.
And you, every Sunday you get up and do your hair, pointed bits,
Yeah.
gold, green, yellow,
Try my
purple,
best, yeah.
everything. You look, pose. And the bike, look at the bike. You're out of order. Why do you put yourself through such an ordeal? Come on, explain. Where's the fun?
It's just fun, it's just entertaining. It's different to a road bike. You're sliding around, there's mud, and this time of year now you can't really go out on a road bike, so you've got to do something else, haven't you?
Well, you could go to the pub, you could
You
go to a
could,
cafe,
Yeah,
but you want to do this instead.
This is just...
Do you take tablets or anything like that?
Not for this, no, but I have got a condition, yeah.
Yeah, we know, you must have a condition, yeah. Right, go on then. So do you reckon it improves your road bike riding?
Definitely, without a shadow of a doubt. You just get out, you just feel more confident on a bike. You just, if you are going to be in a slide, say on a road bike, you just feel as if you could probably handle it a bit more. I mean, I've been out on a road bike a few times in the wet, bit of diesel say, and you just feel a bit more in control.
So you reckon you could keep it upright or whatever? It could help, could save a few quid, or even self-preservation. You could survive the ordeal. Yeah. All right, so that's helping you improve on your road bike riding and everything. But I mean, this obviously costs a few quid. I mean, you have to invest a few pounds in it. This is a posing machine. You don't have to get a fancy. I mean, out there's some pretty average trail bikes and some old four-strokes and things. Would you say it's worth investing in a decent fancy machine like this?
Yeah, I mean, this is a few years old, so it's not costing thousands and thousands. You get something a few years old, quite reasonable. There's no tax, no insurance. It's just literally the running cost of the bike then. Yeah. And just obviously your protective gear.
What do you do if you're not like, you're out on your road bike and you're not on this in a competition? Where would you go then? Is there places you can go and play?
On a road bike?
No, on these things, you know, like...
It's like the event we've got here, but really there's not that much. You know, you want to go and speak to a farmer, say, something like that.
Slip them a couple of quid and you get to play out.
Use your field for the day, that sort of thing. You know, everyone's happy, aren't they?
Yeah, fair enough then. Yeah. Are you eager to get back on again, or are you just, have you had enough?
Possibly in a bit, but it was a baptism of fire, something like that.
You've had enough for the moment, you just need a rest. Yeah. Massage. Massage! I'm afraid there wasn't anyone there willing to offer their services, but there was plenty of mud, and there was more mud, and even more mud, and with the mud there was rain. And also there were plenty of knackered riders and helpers. But even in those conditions, some of the riders were still very, very fast. And one of those riders that was missing was in fact a friend of ours, and a man who is not new to two wheels, Mike Boot. Now, we met this reprobate before. Mike, you're the man who paints helmets, bikes, repairs them, does all the plastic welding, all that lot. On road bikes, we know you from a road bike interest, but what are you doing here with this thing, this creation?
Getting very muddy and very wet and very agitated.
Why are you agitated? You're supposed to enjoy yourself, you know.
On the first corner,
We're not having any excuses here,
A
are we?
man who will remain nameless, but I know where he lives, took me out. So I was dead last off the first corner. And in my keenness...
Do you know there's people watching this, mate? I want to know, people watching this, and they're thinking that you're getting a bit soft here.
Well, I'm hoping the police are not watching, because I'm going to commit offences.
This is a sporting activity. You're supposed to be out there enjoying yourself and have a sporting spirit.
Well, the majority of the people on here can ride. Unfortunately, the man in front of me couldn't ride. He obviously had not done his CBT.
I'm trying to do this game some good, mate. Now, come on. You've got a few folk out there. You've got a very respectable machine here, a top-class piece of equipment, fancy CR motocross bike. Some people out there haven't got this fancy kit. They've got a nice little old trail bike or something. You've got to give a bit of room, man, a bit of space.
True. Well, they shouldn't have been at the front.
That's right. Now, I can understand that.
There's 3 classes.
Right.
And people who can't ride should go
In the can't ride class.
In the can't ride
at
class
the back.
at the back.
Thus
Not
the
in
name of the event, Hare and Hounds.
Yes.
So you let the hare shoot off and the hounds follow. Is this the
Yes.
principle?
Well, I think this one's actually going to be rechristened the Hare and Wobblers. Because that man has just... Well, I'm speechless.
Right. Now, have you got that off your chest?
Yes.
Have you right. Tell us about this fancy bike here now then.
This
Right.
bike should be on the podium today with me sat on it.
It should be, but it's
should,
not
but it's
because of the
not.
wobblers getting in the way. But that's the name of the game, mate. You've got to get by them.
Well,
It's like stock cars.
As you said to me, sporting. So
Yeah.
I'm not going to go around and kick people off to get back up there.
Oh,
I've just bit the
You
bullet.
do surprise me because I expect to see you doing that. In fact, I reckon you're going to go out there now and go and do that, aren't you?
I am going to go out there now and I'm going to hide behind a tree, wait for number X, we shall say, and with my scaffolding post, it's going to go through the spokes of his wheel.
I think we better leave it there before we get sued.
I think we've better had.
Now I want to introduce these two, Chris and Kev Jones, who are respectable business, well, maybe respectable is not the right term, but they are businessmen and they ride road bikes. And look at them, you're in a right state. What a decent chaps aren't you doing on a muddy, horrible Sunday day riding bikes like this?
It's a good question, it's a good question. Basically, with our road bikes being off the road for the winter, we're not prepared to take them on the roads due to the salt and such like. So we'd like to still keep our hands in, let's say. This is an ideal way of doing it, you know, even though it looks a bit dirty. As I mentioned before, it's a cheap form of sport. It's still a way we can come out and, as you see, there's a good gang of lads here. We're all having a good laugh, enjoying ourselves while the road bikes are safely tied away.
To look at you, you look like you're enjoying yourself, but watching people taking the gloves and helmets off and then collapsing to the floor,
Yes.
I'm not so sure about the enjoyment factor.
It's a good point.
Yeah, you know. Chris, tell us, I mean, what road bike do you ride?
Well, we've got an R1 at home, which is like the dog's dangling
Yes.
bits, which obviously we all know all about R1s. But it's like, there's no way can you appreciate them with the roads the way they are. If you're no good going out on the road bike.
No, you're risking yourself
Well,
and
exactly.
your bike, yeah.
So again, it's like, get a couple of grand for the crosser, get out here, enjoy yourself, and like.
It is cheap, isn't it?
Yeah, it
I mean,
is.
you know, when you bought your bikes, did you by any chance think to yourself, well, I'll tell you what I'll do, I'll have a budget of 7,000 or 8,000 quid, knock off a couple of grand. I know that your R1s are beautiful, they've got all the bits and pieces on, but if you would buy one, maybe just kick into touch a few thousand quid and put that in the kitty and buy an off-road bike.
Oh,
Do you reckon that's
yeah.
the way to go?
Yeah.
If you've got a
Well, you've got the
budget
best
to
of
stick
both
to
worlds
that.
then,
Yeah,
haven't you?
absolutely, yeah.
Because you can ride on the road through the summer if you want, get a crosser, go out and play out here
Yeah,
through the winter.
yeah.
So, you know, I mean, it stems back from road racing. We both used to do road racing years ago on sidecars, and we bought crossers in the winter to get you fit.
Yeah.
We got the bug,
Yeah.
and we started racing, and then
There's an awful lot of people who are infamous sportsmen. I mean, exactly, yeah, and Foggy and all the boys, they go out and do enduros and trail bike riding, and this is really an extension of it, isn't it? Really.
As we mentioned before, John was saying about improving your road skills, which it does.
It does,
Yeah.
yeah.
In the past, if on a road bike, if you got the back end twist that slip out a little bit, you generally lose a little bit of adrenaline,
Yeah,
as we know.
yeah.
But nowadays, with having the experience we've got through riding off-road bikes, you soon realise that it's not the end of the world, and just, you know, you can control it, whereas
Yeah.
in the past maybe we wouldn't be able to.
So really, I mean, if it could at all be managed in this manner, you could actually suggest that to do off-road riding in maybe some of the training
Definitely.
would be an asset to a road bike rider.
Certainly for actual control skills of the bike. I mean, obviously you're not going to learn road skills, but for control skills, most definitely.
Yeah, yeah.
Because especially with these things, they're both 250s, one Yamaha, one Honda. They're both only a couple of years old, so they're reasonably good tackle, and they're quite quick. But of course, they're nowhere near as quick as an R1.
No.
So they both complement each other, and
Yeah.
you learn skills through this that you can translate to your road bike and vice versa.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
It's good fun, and as was mentioned, it keeps you fit.
Well,
For what I'm not sure, like.
Yeah, well, no, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
well, thanks very much, lads, for talking to us. And this really is a good advert to you road bike lads out there to perhaps consider getting a trail bike or a motocross bike and going having a play like this. It hasn't cost a lot of money. I think they should leave the bikes in the garage myself and polish them maybe, or do something else. They're crackers.
It's only a bit of mud. We will survive. Well, that was pretty easy. Can't wait for the next event. I just hope it's twice as long. Not. I'm ready to die now.